I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another amazing guest. Right now, you can see him as Santiago in Moulin Rouge, which just celebrated their 5th year on Broadway. But he has worked as Celine Dion as a creative consultant and stylist, and he made his professional debut as McCavity in 2003 in Madrid in a production of Cats. So welcome, Pepe Muñoz, and thank you for joining me.
Hello. I'm so happy, so excited.
I love that you love cats, and it's awesome to me that this is really the beginning of your performing career, and now you're making your major Broadway debut here recently. So I want to go into, you've done cats so many times, and I know you're passionate about it.
So many languages.
So we're going to go into all of them and all the languages and all your theories and all your stories. But I want to know, what did you know about it before Madrid in 2003?
Okay.
Have you seen it?
So I went to a school in middle school and high school where dance and theater was kind of part of the program, and the teacher had done a super tiny small production of Cats with some people in the school. And for some reason, I watched the VHS and I thought, what is this? The music for some reason taunted me. My brain could not comprehend what was this music. And then the Cats. Anyway, fast forward, 1998, we come to New York with school, and there were two options to see two musicals. A group went to see Beauty and the Beast, and another group, we went to see Cats.
And you picked Cats.
I picked Cats, and I can't even tell you what happened. I don't know what happened. I was sitting there, and they were just dancing, and I think it was Cassandra, but I don't know exactly because I was so young. In the naming of Cats, somebody crawled over me on the seats, and I want to say it was Cassandra. It changed my life. For years, I didn't say I want to be a dancer. I said, I want to be in Cats, period. And once I'm in Cats, I don't need to do any other show.
So that was it.
That was hooked.
So you saw Broadway 1998. Did you see the VHS before that or after that?
After. So I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw here in New York, and I had the little, the pamphlets used to be those little triptychs for the shows.
Yeah.
I don't think they have them anymore, but.
No, I think I have one from, I don't know how many years ago, but I've collected a couple of those.
So I have that one from 1998, and before then, there was no Google, there was no YouTube, there was no nothing. I just had that little triptych, and I remember looking at it every single day. No, I was obsessed. You can ask my brother, you can ask my family. I was so annoying. I was just obsessed with this. And now when I see people that come to Moulin Rouge over and over and over, I somehow can relate a little bit because I
get it.
I would have gone to see Cats every day.
How did you decide that over Beauty and the Beast? Like, that's a well-known
no idea.
Movie and everything, and it's like, let's take the different one.
I guess because I had seen that little school production that my teacher had put up, I said, let me see what the original is. And I think it changed my life. I don't know who was in the cast because I don't have the playbill. I only have the little triptych, so I don't know who I saw perform that day. But I would literally try to find them on Instagram and send them a message saying, you changed my life. You made me a performer.
There is a way to find, not exactly, but if you know around the date that you were there.
Oh, April 14th. April 14th, 1998.
You got the day. You got the day. Yeah. Okay. After I'm going to send you how you can find at least who was supposed to be there, unless you had any swings or understudies. But at least the cast at that time.
Oh my gosh.
It's there. It's online.
Oh wow.
It's very well documented.
I hadn't even thought about it. It was just, for me, it's this magical experience that I had happen to me, and I became a dancer. I only went to dance school, and I started going to dance school when I was 17. I only wanted to dance because I wanted to do the Jellicle ball. I didn't care about any other dance. I didn't care about any other musicals. The only thing I wanted to be was a Jellicle cat.
This is it. Did you know which cat right away, or was it just any cat?
I wanted to be Mephistopheles for the life of me. But then I realized
Mistopheles
that I'm
got it.
6'2" and I'm too tall
Yeah.
and I could never be Mistopheles. And my brother, poor little brother, he was forced to watch that VHS over and over because that was the only thing I would allow to watch. I was like, we're watching Cats, period.
That's it.
And my brother was always obsessed with the Rum Tugger. And I was like, no, Mistopheles is the dancer. You have to dance. And I did a summer program in London at the Royal Ballet. And you're going to laugh at this. But I used to have very thick socks that I would cut off the ends and put them in my arms as leg warmers, like Jellicles.
Yeah,
and
like the Cats, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this day at the Royal Ballet School, the teacher asked me in front of everybody to take them off. And I said, I can't. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I'm a Jellicle. I said, I can't take them off. What? Like, I'm a Jellicle cat. Like, I can't do this. Anyway,
that is amazing. I love that you just said the teacher's like, no, I'm Jellicle. That's it.
I'm a
There's
Jellicle.
no questions.
There's no questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are. You've done it, what is it, 5, 6,
Six.
7, 8, 6 times? Okay.
In English, in German, and in Spanish.
English, German, and Spanish. So I want to hear the story about how you got found to be in this Madrid production.
So that year that I kept my socks on my arms as leg warmers, I did another summer intensive. That was July in London, and in August I was in Madrid with the Cuban National Ballet. They were doing another summer intensive. And on the Saturday, Sunday, we were off. And on a Saturday, we went to see Phantom that was playing in Madrid at the time. And it was the replica version, the one from London with the entire creative team, with, Gillian Lynn's associates coming to take care of the show and everything. And it was a bunch of us dancers. And we put a hat on the floor on the Gran Via, which is, they call it the little Broadway. All the theaters are there, all the movie theaters. We put a hat on the floor and we were dancing just to make some money while we waited to watch the show. And Marina Stevenson, who was a white cat in the closing cast of the West End, and Maura Chapman, who was the resident director of Phantom, were going to work. They were walking into the theater. Marina was the swing dance captain of Phantom. Moira was the director. And suddenly they see these 20 or something kids, lifting and doing fouettes and dance. And they said, who are you guys? And we said, we're doing the Cuban Ballet Summer thing. We're dancers. They go, do you guys sing? And I said, yeah, I'll sing. And they said, we're looking for people for cats. In my brain, I can't tell you. My brain exploded. I said, wait, what? Cats in Spain? They're like, yeah, we're doing the Spanish production and we're finding it hard to find people. I said, okay, when's the audition?
Sign me up.
Sign me up. And I went to the audition and I got the job and it changed my life.
Wow. So were you doing like ballet on the street? Like what type of dance were you doing out
Yes,
there?
we were lifting the girls. We were doing all these big lifts. We were doing turns. We were jumping. I was 19, no injuries, fresh teenagers being silly. And I got hired as Macavity, understudy, Monkestrap, and Rum Tum Tugger at 19.
Wow. And so they sent you out to Madrid and and then this is in Spanish.
This was in Spanish. It was the Spanish production. They had done Mexico and Argentina before.
Yeah.
But they did a very specific translation for Spain because, as you know, the Spanish in every country is a little different. So, yeah. And I was so young and there were veterans of musical theater in Spain working with me and I was working with them and I just learned so much.
And this is first professional job.
Yeah.
And were you wearing your Jellicle armbands when you were dancing outside of Phantom or no?
No, because it was I wasn't. But can you imagine what I felt the day of rehearsal? The first day of rehearsal, they came with the Ziploc bags with our tail, our Capizio shoes, and leg warmers. No, I said, wait. For years, I've been manifesting this and wanting this to be my life, and here I am with my tail. This is Pepe Muñoz Macavity. What?
Yeah. So take me to the rehearsal process because as someone who'd probably worn out a VHS version of it, seen it in Broadway. What was your was there aha moments of the story? Because it's such a hard thing to comprehend. Like as a dancer, you're obviously following, you want to do the Jellicle ball, but from a storytelling perspective, did you kind of sit there and go, wow, I never would have thought about this? Or,
yes.
What was that experience?
Yes. And I actually use some of that information that I was giving to try to convince people that Cats is more than just a dance show. Because
Totally.
right? Because when people and this can connect with the Jellicle Ball that I saw this summer in New York City, which I go, oh wow, wait, they've taken this and made it even better. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
And it's because they took that little bit of information that is given to us, and it's a story about forgiveness and redemption and having a space for everybody. And they took it and ran with it and made it even better. So I do remember Chrissy Cartwright, who was Gillian Lynn's right hand. She got hired, I think the show in London opened in 1981, and she got hired in 1984 to be the resident choreographer, and she stayed there until it closed. So to be hired by Chrissy in Europe it's
a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because now that I've done it a few times, now you know what Chrissy wants. So when you go to the first day of rehearsal of each production, now I can tell you who's playing what. Just by standing in that room.
Just by looking. Yeah.
The girl with the biggest eyes is going to be Syllabub. The tiny little one is going to be Rumpelteazer. I know it's Cassandra. It's so interesting because the typecasting is insane. But what was your question? Oh, well, she told us in rehearsals. Yeah, I just remember loving the little story about Grisabella and how Gumby was probably the same age as Grisabella, but Gumby decided to be work in the house, and how Macavity, I realized that Plato, Admetus, has a white spot on the wig, and so does Electra. So in my head, Admetus or Plato and Electra are siblings, and Gumby is our mom because she also has the white spot here. So it's just all these little backstories that we were told, and the 3 words that I don't remember what they were for me, but Trevor Nunn created this list of the 3 words for each cat. And I do remember Chrissy telling me, Pepe, you're not a kitten. Don't behave like a kitten. But I was 19. So I wanted to be always on the floor with Pouncible and Electra. And Pepe, no, you're an adult. You're Admetus. I was like, hated it.
Yeah. So you had to play kind of the villain too a little bit.
Yes, and I don't want to be the villain.
Yeah. So I love this. So this is the professional debut, and then you've got a couple years, and then it was Germany next?
Yes. So I did it in Madrid. Unfortunately, the production in Madrid wasn't a big success. For A, B, C reasons, Cats didn't connect with the Spanish audience. And I can also tell you it's because Mamma Mia was down the street. Fuck You was down the street. So it was more of a, people wanted more like celebratory musicals, like with music that they knew. And Cats felt a little odd for them. So it didn't work.
I mean, you picked it over Beauty and the Beast. So there's a market. There's still market.
For me, it's perfection. If there was a production right now, I would go see it. I adore it. And when we were about to finish, a friend that I made at the Royal Ballet Summer course, who I became really good friends with, and now he's a musical theater director. He did King Kong here in New York. His name is Drew McConey. He got hired for the German production, and I remember sending him an email going, "Hello, Drew. This is Pepe. I hope you're well. I just wanted to tell you I got Cats in Madrid. Haha. Remember when I kept my socks on? Blah blah blah." And he sent me an email back going, "Oh my goodness, you're not gonna believe this. I'm joining the German company." I said, "Wow, what are the odds? Look at the buzz being Jellicles." And one day he sent me another email saying, "Hey, Pepe, I don't know what you're doing, but the German production that was in Dusseldorf is going on tour. Are you interested?" I said, "Drew, the timing is perfect. Spain is closing, so I'm going to go." I went to the audition, hired a German teacher to teach me the songs. They sent me the music. So I learned the songs in German. And Chrissy was at the audition. And I showed up and she said, "Oh." I said, "Well, we're closing in a few weeks in Madrid, and I heard you're looking for people here." So they hired me as a swing. So I covered Alonso, Macavity, Tugger, and Monkeystrup in German.
All in German. Wow.
All in German. And that was one of the most beautiful years of my life. We went to Leipzig, to Dresden, to Switzerland, to Bremen, to Cologne. It was amazing. In German. So I made friends all over Europe. I learned a new language, and I was still doing Cats. I was the happiest. But after that, I realized that I had done 2.5 years in the professional world and I had never been a human.
Yeah. Just crawling around at all times.
Just crawling around.
Yeah.
And I realized, I said, wait, Pepe, this is weird because I was going to turn 21. I joined at 19, 2 years, 21. I said, you know what? It would be nice to do a different show. And in Germany, I don't know if you know this, but Germany and Holland, in the Netherlands, they do musicals in every city, 3 or 4. All the productions go there. All of them go there. Mm-hmm. And they were doing Dirty Dancing, the European premiere. And I said, you know what? Let's just try to do something different. So that's the only reason why I stopped doing Cats, because I wanted to do something else.
Just be a human, do a different lift.
Be a human for a minute. But I missed it because in Cats you feel so realized. You feel so like a dancer because you're dancing nonstop.
The whole show.
Show.
Basically. Yeah, you get no breaks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious a little bit as someone like, I don't speak any other languages well enough to say I speak them. To learn a show that you watched all in English growing up, like you became obsessed with it in English, then you do it first in Spanish, and then you learn it in German.
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, because like these names are all kind of they don't make sense to begin with, let alone like adding the different language.
Yeah, I think if I had to do that right now, it would be a nightmare. But I was super young, and like I say, the love for this piece, the love that I feel for the show and these characters and these people that performed for me and changed my life, the love that I have for this is so big that I didn't mind. They gave us CDs with the entire show with a phonetics teacher speaking the show very slowly, and we had phonetic class. We had a phonetic teacher that came with us because there was British people, Italians, some Americans too, so not so many Germans in the company, and we had class.
So I have vinyls for Spanish, Japanese, German, a couple of them, and I listen to them all, and I think Japanese and German are the two that are I feel like the hardest to just kind of translate, because it just doesn't. I mean, it works amazing. It's still like fun to listen to.
It is,
but it's different than what I'm used to, and like what I'm just again, watching in English so much. And so it's kind of one of those things that, like, as not a native speaker of that language, to do it on top of being at the right place at the right time, doing the right dance moment at the right time, as a swing, trying not to kick the right person, like to change tracks and roles. It's going to be so difficult.
It was difficult, but I guess because I knew if I didn't know Cats that well and I got hired to do it in Germany, it would have been an uphill road for me because I wouldn't know the show. But I think because I knew it, A to Z, upside down, inside out, the fact that I had to sing it in another language was not a big deal. I thought,
no big deal.
I thought, I'll learn German. And look at me now. I speak basic German,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't difficult. Do you know if the vinyl that you have is Hamburg or Vienna?
Ooh, I think the one I have that I got most recent was Vienna.
Okay.
But I'll have to look and see. I slowly collect them, and then I have another former guest who has some bootleg collections on MP3s that somehow he gets his hands on.
Nice.
And so I have a very wide range that I'm hoping to. It's fun to listen to because so much of it is the same but different.
Yeah.
And then there's also some nuances. Like there's a different Mungo, Jerry and Rumple teaser that like the 2019 movie.
Oh
used.
yes,
like there's,
yes.
So there are some other variations, and it's kind of fun to hear like, oh, that's the same but also tweaked, or that's very different than. Because I learned the show in 2016. I had never seen it before that.
And what happened in 2016? Do you just fall in love?
I moved to New York, and I saw it, and I walked out as someone who was not a singer or a dancer, but who liked writing. I walked out going, I want to understand the plot. Like, this is so loose, but there's also so much that I kind of was like, I really think there's a lot going on here. And it was like kind of fascinating. And then obviously the thesis of my story is I don't think Grisabelle was the right choice. So that was what kind of started this.
Okay.
So I saw it and I made some jokes about that.
But you know about the book, right? You know T.S.
Eliot's
poems.
Oh, yeah. I know. Now I'm 5.5, almost 6 years of this podcast. So I went from knowing zero. I had seen it once in 2016 to now knowing which cats are considered siblings and which, like, the storylines and what's true and names of parts of the Jellicle ball, like of Copeland and all these things, like things I should not know.
And
as
Copeland
someone
is
who-
because it sounds like a TV show that was called Copeland. And Princess Louise, there's another moment in the Jellicle Ball called Princess Louise, and it's because Gillian Lynn, she says that on the DVD. She was in a cab late for rehearsal, and she was working with her feet in the cab, and when she looked over, there was a pub called the Princess Louise pub, and so she calls that the Princess Louise. And hovers is because you're hovering over whatever. It's just, I just love the show so much.
I love it. So then let's just go through some of the other ones. You did a UK Italian tour.
Yes. So right after, I did Dirty Dancing. I did Spain, Germany, and Dirty Dancing in Germany. And then I joined Cirque in Vegas. After Cirque in Vegas, I was there for a year and a half. It was very intense. I said, I'm going to go back to Europe. And as I land in Europe, my friend Joe McShane, who was Rumpelteazer in the UK, goes, because Cats becomes a database of people. It is such a hard show to do and to cast that once you're in the world, you're in a pool of people that they just call. And she goes, Pepe, we're doing 2 months in Italy. It's the UK tour. It's in English. And we need a swing. Can I tell Chrissy that you're available? I said, absolutely.
Sure.
I'll go.
Ready.
So went to London, rehearsed, and it was the first time I did it in English.
Yeah. And I mean,
and that was great.
And again, crazy because it's what you grew up learning.
Exactly.
And watching and
so
knowing.
the first day of rehearsals, to be singing it in English was pretty special to me. It was wonderful. And then also, it was during the summer. It was June and July in Italy. I was a swing. I did 2 shows. I didn't care. I was in Italy
Two
for
shows?
free. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I didn't care because at that point, the need to do the show was out of my system. I had done it for years.
You've done it years.
Now, it was just great to be part of another Cats company, make new friends, and say things like, oh, which one do you do? Oh, did you do it with blah, blah, blah? Oh, Germany. Oh, did you do it with... And that is always wonderful about the Jellicles. And there is when I started saying this stupid thing that I did it, and there's a picture of me where I wrote it with makeup on my chest. It's called Jellicles Forever. And people in international tours still say it. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to take credit for that. I started saying it because I said, wow, this can be the gift that keeps on giving. Jellicles Forever. I'm going to be a Jellicle forever. And I am.
It does feel like a family. It feels like once you've done any production or anything that you are part of that Jellicle family and have a connection point to. Yeah. I mean, and it's 40 plus years of people doing it all over the world. Yeah. And so that's really cool. So you did that, and then there was I'm trying to go through. There was Germany, a UK Germany tour, or is that the same tour?
No. So that was the UK Italy, and that closed. That summer it closed, and the UK tour with David Ian Productions was closed. That winter, I got another email saying, hey, we are doing a UK/Germany. So it's going to be in English, but we're going to go to Germany for the entire winter. It was like 3 or 4 months, I think. And they said, but we don't have a rum-tum tugger, and we know you've understudied it always. Yeah. I said, oh, wow, could this be my chance to be the rum-tum tugger? So I got it, and I did the rum-tum tugger. It was also, it played on my behalf that it was in English, but we were playing it in Germany because, you know, everybody speaks perfect English when they do Cats, and but because we were going to Germany, they said, okay, we can leave Pepe to have his Spanish accent and plus we're animals. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
You know what
exactly.
I mean? We're not doing Shakespeare here.
For sure. So did you call your brother and like, hey, I took your role?
My brother came to visit, and he said to me, to know that the one up there was my brother after you forced me to watch that VHS for years. He said it was kind of like the metaverse. You know, he was like, what? Yeah. What is happening? It was wonderful. And we did, I don't remember the cities, but we finished in Frankfurt. And it was beautiful because it was the Frankfurt Opera House, and it was a huge production. It was just great. And that was what, number 4?
That was 4 in 2008, I believe.
Yes, that was 2008. And then
there's a little break.
There's a little break. And then fast forward to 2012. Yeah. I came to New York, and I auditioned for a West Side Story international tour, and I got the job. But this was in January, and the job started in May. So I said, fine, I'm going to Malaga, my hometown. I'm going to have a few months off. And I remember I used to be a smoker. And I was having a cigarette on my parents' home in the sun, chilling. It was February, and somebody called me and said, my friend Dane said, "Hey, where are you?" I said, "I'm in Malaga." And they said, "We're doing Cats in German." And of course, in German, there's less people that know the German, the German
not
version.
many, yeah.
And it was a tent. It was a European tour that was in a tent, a black tent.
Yep.
And they were in Vienna, and everybody was injured. Everyone and their mother was injured. The opening, there was no Cats. And they said, "Can you fly tomorrow?" I said, "I can fly tonight. Fly me now."
Yeah.
I said, "The only condition is that I have to be done by end of April, beginning of May,
tour.
because I'm starting West Side Story." They're like, "Absolutely, just come and help." And originally, I was just supposed to be there for 3 weeks. Then it became 4. Then it became 6. Then I stayed for 2.5 months. And it was phenomenal. I went from -degree weather, where the tent was covered in snow outside, to being so hot in April that we needed kiddie pools outside to be.
Wow.
It was so hot because it was a black tent.
Yeah.
So when the sun was shining, it was boiling. It was really hot.
Yeah. Not a lot of air conditioning in the black tent too.
Nope.
So you came in and you did pretty much the same swing track that you did the first time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only difference was that the German production I did in 2005 was in a traditional stage format, and this one was very, very close to the original West End, where you had the stage and all the junk, and then there was a big circle that went down, so the audience was almost in a full circle.
Yeah.
So all the dances happened in that circle facing out. So it was.
Oh, okay.
It was
so
pretty
just so some tweaking of the staging.
Tweaking of the staging
at that point.
But it
it
was fun. Oh, I have no problem. And they were so desperate that played on my behalf. Because even if I was in the wrong spot, I was thinking I wasn't saving your asses. So
yeah, they're still running the show because of you.
Don't give me notes. You know, 'cause I was like, I'm helping everybody here. And that was great. That was great. Oh my goodness.
And then you had another break.
Yeah.
Before the final one, or I don't want to say final. I feel like there's still.
Let's call it the next one, because
the next one, because there's still, I think, you're Jellicle Forever.
I sure am.
That means there's still moments, and you've got, as you get through your career, I still, someone said this a long time ago, but this is a show that you can play throughout your whole career, because you can play different parts. You can play a kid in the beginning, then you can play the kind of teens, and then you can play the older, then you end up at Gus.
Exactly.
And then you end at Gus.
Exactly. Or Deuteronomy if you have the voice, or I completely agree. I think as a dancer, as my cavity at 40, I would say no. And I don't think anybody would want to hire me as my cavity at 40 because it's hard. But if they wanted to play the Rum Tum Tugger again, I would. Because it's fun. It's just great. His dance track is not that hard. So I would do it, no doubt.
I love it. I feel like hopefully after this gets out, the next one that pops up, you're going to get a call.
I'll audition.
They're gonna be ready. So I want to talk a little bit about, before we go into Moulin Rouge.
No, but wait. Can I tell you a funny story about the last one I did?
Yeah. This is the UK.
The Dubai. Yeah, the middle.
Oh, it's Dubai. Dubai is okay.
Yeah.
It's marked as a UK tour.
No, it's always marked as a UK tour because it's based out of London and everybody's from the UK.
Okay.
So they always call it UK tour. But it was in Dubai and we had to change some of the choreography because we couldn't, the Macavity girls couldn't put their hands close to in between their legs.
Oh,
the Rum Tum Tugger couldn't move the hips so much. I couldn't do the bit where I thrust my hips towards Cassandra's face. We had to change
You had to adjust
things.
some of it.
Yeah, because of rules, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. That's it. So I didn't realize it was Dubai because it's, again, they're the site that I'll send you so you can have the Find Your 1998 cast from April.
Oh my goodness, yes, please.
April has kind of marked what you did and when for what I would say is, I don't want to come official, but like non-regional. So anything that was a tour or staged for a longer period of time. And it's just marked as UK tour.
Yeah, no.
And so it doesn't even really say where it goes in very detail. So this was in Dubai. So you had to cut out the hip thrusting and some of the other stuff. Were you allowed to kind of still play around in the audience in that show?
Not really. We couldn't
limited.
Touch. We couldn't. Yeah. And as the Rum Tum Tugger was really hard because the Rum Tum Tugger jumps and I used to sit on people's lap when I did it in Europe and I used to ask them to scratch my belly and I would go and now I couldn't. So it was really weird. But also this one, my last experience with cats was a little, not sad, but kind of, because I had signed a 1-year contract, but I only did Dubai, Doha, and Kuwait because I hurt my ankle. So I had to I went to the doctor and they said I needed surgery. So I said, I'm so sorry, guys. I can't come back. And Christy might have been a little bit upset with me, I think. And the production company did not love me. So I don't think I will be getting a call for the UK tour anytime soon because they don't love me anymore. But I was like, it's an injury. It's not the...
Yeah,
I'm injured.
You can't avoid an injury. Like that's an unfortunate part.
Exactly.
And it's such a physical show. It's a show that has a lot more injuries than a lot of the other shows that we talk about.
A nightmare.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back for more of The Wrong Cat Died. So I want to hear before Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
You are such a passionate Jellicle.
Yep.
What are some of your theories? Either that you are, especially something that maybe isn't the lore that everyone knows, but like what is some of the stuff that either you added or that you really thought, these are my relationships that have to be there, these are my like hot takes on the story? Like what's that as your many years of doing this? What are some of those thoughts for you?
Oh my goodness. I for example loved when Grisabella sang Memory. I loved it. And even when Chrissy used to say this thing to us that said, you have to turn around, but your backs need to listen. So this moment is not just a moment for you to turn around and relax. You are listening. So I loved doing that. I loved always my relationship with Gumby and Jelly because maybe this is just me, but as a gay man that I grew up being gay and I still am, I always felt really comforted with mother figures and aunts and mothers and big sisters. So for me, always in like the McCavity scares, yes, I would protect the kittens, but I would also, because I'm a teenager, Admetus was a teenager, so he's all big, but he's still very scared. He's not, so I would do that. And yeah, my heart would always want to go with Pumpsible and Electra and want to play with them. But then Chrissy also said to me once, the reason why Admetus does the white cat moment, it's because he's also discovering his sexuality. So I feel that the first time they hired me to play Admetus, it was very, very connected with who I was as Pepe at 19, because I was discovering my sexuality too. And I didn't know what I was doing. So to play that on stage every night was also funny, because I was this kid that was growing up, but I wasn't an adult yet. And I was having experiences and getting drunk one night in Madrid and just, just learning as much as I could. And who else? Yeah, interesting. Like, for example, for Demeter, Ballerina, Cassandra, I never had any relationship with them, ever.
None. Okay.
No, only as Tugger, but not as much.
When you, not as Play-Doh and Amuse, but as Tugger, you have to. I mean, that's like
and not as Admetus. But then I also remember rehearsing as Ram-Tum Tugger and Chrissy telling me, you don't pay attention to anyone. Because some of the ballerinas would come and tell you, you need to pay attention to me because I'm your partner. No, you're not my partner. The Ram-Tum Tugger is alone. Yes, we have that little moment.
His own world.
Exactly.
Did you play into the Mistopheles Tugger lore at all?
No, I never got into it. Do you think that maybe there was an affair there, or?
So this is one that I don't know where and how long ago it started, but it's one of the, I always joke, it's probably the most written and drawn from the artist relationship that I've seen. I think it's because, they say lines in each other's songs and there's kind of that little flirty moments there. And there's been some, like, and you said you saw the Jellicle Ball, the one this year at the Perlman, like they leaned into it.
Yeah, they did.
The two of them leaned into it hard.
They did.
And so there is a little bit of that where it's like, and I'm trying to figure out a pinpoint. A lot of these like relationship lures either started from like a moment or has been passed along over time. And that's what I can't find, because it's like, it's not an official, everyone agrees on it.
No, I've never, in rehearsals, or I've never heard this. However, the only thing I can say perhaps, and this is just me spitballing here, is that the one on the VHS, John Partridge, such a sexual being, especially in that VHS, that maybe perhaps there was some extra sexuality, but he has sexual energy towards everybody. He has sexual energy towards Jelly Lauren, for crying out loud. So it reminded me of John Bailey in Wicked, in that moment where he kisses everybody. Boys, girls, the librarian. That's very Ram-Tum Tugger of him, just very open sexually. I never No, I never thought of it. I had heard, but I didn't know it was such a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Especially recently, the artists
Wow.
have drawn a lot of that relationship.
Okay.
Again, I want to get to Moulin Rouge, but I have one more question for you.
Yes.
I have loved that as I've talked to some of the performers who have been like big fans before they got into the show. How much of your like daily life or things outside of the theater world or just in general do you view through a cat's lens?
Oh
like,
my
do you
gosh.
have everything?
Not everything. Literally, I met a good friend of mine because as I was leaving the stage door of Chicago, when I did Chicago in the West End, I was leaving the stage door. I looked at the moon and I went, and this friend of mine now, who's my dearest friend, he went, cats? I went, yes. He said, I love cats. I said, me too. And we became instant friends. I still do it. My husband laughs at me. If there's a full moon, I go, N5, because that's the choreography. You go, N5, and you put your left foot on 5 on the floor. I still do it. It's never going to leave me. Cats, to me, is going to be part of my life forever. So it's, forever.
Do you cast your friends as like, oh, you would be a ex-cat?
In every show. In every show. And I go, and then I go, have you ever auditioned for cats? Like, I always try to be really coy about it. But then I go, oh, you would be a great Demeter. You are Cassandra. Like, the Chrissy, I have the Chrissy mentality of typecasting people. And yeah, I'm sorry, loving the show doesn't hurt anybody, you know?
No,
it's an addiction.
I agree.
It's an addiction that to me feels really healthy. And I've made some of the best friends that I have in my life through this show. So thank you. I have a lot of super fans that like follow the show, obviously, and reply to my stories and everything I post. And all the time I'm like, this is such a healthy, like, it's such a healthy addiction or Absolutely.
super fandom because you're seeing yourself in a character most likely. There's a relationship to, you can relate to almost any of the characters. One is you, one is your best friend, one annoys you. Like, it's a family and you can recognize that.
Do you think that's why the show was such a big success? Do you think that's why, like, the Spice Girls was such a hit because the 5 of them were different? So I think maybe Cats was such a hit because everybody could have at least one to connect with.
I think so. I've always thought there's 2 things that make it so successful for such a long period of time. One is that it's such a dance heavy show that as any dancer, as someone who didn't grow up dancing, but like anybody I've ever talked to who's a dancer, it's like, oh, I related to that. I learned parts of that. I watched that. But even as someone who's not a dancer, I walked out of the theater going, that looked so difficult and so hard and so impressive. As who doesn't know the technical part of it, but recognize the athleticism and the ability it took to do that. So I think that's one. I do think the fact that you can do it in any language and still kind of follow the story. I had a very international crowd with me on Broadway.
Okay.
And I kept thinking, this is a show that you don't need to understand the sarcasm of a joke or, certain parts of the language. And so you can kind of still follow the whole story, even if you don't hear or understand a word that's said. And that's like, I listen to the vinyls and I'm like, now granted I know the show way too well now, but I'm like, I can follow kind of the arc of the music and what's happening there. But then I do think the third part is that there is, because you're introduced to just character after character after character and you learn kind of their background, it's like, oh, I was maybe the troublemaker, so that's why I'm Mungo J and Rebel Teaser, or I'm the one who eats a lot, I'm a foodie, so I'm sitting there with Bustafer, or like I think you can relate to somebody. So I think those are the components that make it so sustainable. And then you add in now 40 plus years of lore. Like, I learned something new almost everybody I talked to that I wouldn't have thought about. And at this point, I'm like, I feel like I should know everything. I've done almost 200 episodes of this.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm so honored that you wanted to talk to me. I'm like,
I'm thrilled. I love when there's such passion. It's so much fun too, because like you get it, you know it, you understand it, and you love it. So there's like the true, like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And I want to now cast Moulin Rouge because I know you've already probably done this. But I love doing this, and I did this with your castmate with Sophie because she was in the movie, and so we did this exercise. I have my answers still, but I want to hear your answers.
Okay,
and we can compare.
Are you going to give me names, and you're going to tell me who they?
I'm going to give you the character, and I want you to tell me which cat fits there.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this. Let's just do this in. Let's start with Nini.
Nini could be Bomballerina.
Okay, that's what I had.
Okay. He
had
could
Nini's
also be a
Bomballerina.
Demeter. It could be. It's a mix. I feel like it could be a mix.
What about Santiago?
Santiago would be the Rum Tum Tugger, no doubt.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
had
comic
the two of
relief.
them together.
Yeah, he's the comic relief. He's sexual, maybe
completely.
bisexual. I play a bisexual
Yeah.
Santiago in the show.
Okay.
You know, it's a whorehouse in Paris. Anything goes.
Yeah. What about the Duke?
The Duke would be Bustifer.
Okay.
I never loved Bustifer, and I don't love the Duke. So,
Is that because of your character or just in general?
in general, Bustifer. You mean Bustifer or the Duke?
Both, I guess.
So with Bustifer, it is also a one where you're so tired in the show because you've done the opening, Gumby, Rum Tum Tugger, Grisabella, and now you have to stand there listening to this boring song about food, and you're like there like, oh, I hated Bustifer Jones.
I will. So you need to get on the Royal Caribbean cruise where they do it. They have a Royal Caribbean cruise where they do Cats two nights of the 7.
Oh
day
yeah, I heard
cruise.
about this.
And it's only 90 minutes because they can't have an intermission, and they cut Bustifer.
Thank you. Then I need to do that version.
Yeah. If you want to live on a boat for 8 months or whatever,
Save all
that's,
that money.
Yeah. Yeah. What about Toulouse?
Toulouse would be Skimble.
Okay. See, I got him as Gus.
Oh, okay.
But I see Skimble. I see both.
Yeah, I could say Skimble because Skimble to me, and maybe it's because the one who played it in Madrid was this super, super gay man, and he was always very tidy and trying to organize things. I see Toulouse also as he wants to do the show and he wants to play the music, and now it's the time to
that's
play,
true.
and now get this right, and Christian, don't mess up the words, and I see him more as a Skimble.
Okay. I agree with that. What about Harold?
Old Deuteronomy. He's the big papa.
Okay. I thought a similar thought, but I kind of had it as Monkish Trap, where it's like kind of the narrator.
Fair. But also,
I see both sides of that, yeah.
Well, when I did the show, we were always told that Monkish Trap is the next in line to be Deuteronomy.
Yes.
So I see that the staircase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. Christian.
Okay, this one is hard. Because we don't have that many male singers in Cats, right? Who could Christian be? I don't know.
I struggle with this the most.
Yeah.
I said maybe Mistopheles, but Mistopheles doesn't sing.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't know. We don't have a Christian in our show.
Yeah, no Christian. It's rare that we can't cast somebody. Okay, then what about Satine?
I think Satine would be saving the distances. Satine could be Grisabella.
Yeah.
Because she's a sparkling diamond. She's always been shining, but she says to Christian, I can live off my body all my life and blah, blah, blah. And that's what Grisabella, we're told that she went with McCavity and everything went south from there.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thing. So it seems like we're pretty aligned here on these.
Because we both love the show so much. Hello. There's no rocket
We're
science.
just ready to cast everybody we meet. It's like,
Exactly.
all right, you're
Who
ready
would
for
you want to
this.
be if you were in Cats?
So I've thought about this a lot because I ask when we do the rapid fire, I ask who would you want to play one night?
Okay.
And I think the answers to me is always either do you want to do the exact opposite of your personality?
Okay.
Or do you want to try to play your personality? Like, do
Okay.
you want to live in your moment, or do you want to be in the most extreme opposite of it?
Okay.
So I think from that standpoint, the opposite for me would be Tugger. I'm much more of an introvert. I'm not going to be I'm that would not be. So I think it would be really fun to have that moment of just
attention,
cause chaos. And just
Literal
go out there and
chaos.
do whatever you want. So I think that would be fun. Or
Okay.
the reverse would be I feel like it would be fun to do the old Deuteronomy.
Of course,
Gus,
Gus.
just kind of cerebral, thoughtful.
So beautiful.
That's kind of how I the reason I do this. It's parody, but I analyze the show way too much, and that's kind of how
For me,
I think through it.
For me, Gus is more beautiful than Grisabella. The Gus moment. Oh my gosh! When he's talking about
especially
these
in
kittens,
that movie.
these kittens now they don't know what they're doing, and it makes me respect theater even more. I really do feel that moment in the show is one of the most beautifully made because and there's no dancing. It's all about the story. Tell me, and Jellicle loves him so much, and it's just goosebumps. For me, Gus is one of the most beautiful.
And then at my last answer to that is I think it would be fun. I can't sing it, But Grisabella's on stage for like 15 minutes.
It would be
so.
a
You want to
dream.
talk about a dream of just let me go out, let me dance a little bit, let me do this, and then we just sing the one big number, and then go up and get my reward, and then
great
go off
paycheck.
stage. Yeah, and the paycheck.
And the paycheck.
So, but I can't sing or dance. I couldn't do any of them. But yeah, it's that's how I've thought about it.
Okay.
What just quickly tell, like, for people who haven't seen Moulin Rouge, it's been on
Okay.
Broadway for 5 years now. What can they expect, or like what do you love about being in this particular production?
I think, well, I love the movie so very much.
Yeah.
And I think many people do as well. But for some reason, especially in the day and age that we live in right now, it's super important to just go see a show where people are welcome, where you're just welcome,
Yeah.
no matter who you are, no matter who you love, no matter what you are, you're just welcome. It's the underdogs. It's it's a cabaret. It's a whorehouse. It's a yeah. I just think it's very important to not put tags or names to things and just be oneself and feel welcome. So yes, there's great dancing, and yes, there's great music, and there's great acting, and the sets are beautiful. But if you strip all of that away and you were doing a black box version of the show, it would still be a hit, because you're talking about love. You're talking about pure love. And you fall in
love
love
that.
with it doesn't matter. When love happens, it happens, period.
I love that. Just come in, be yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That's great. I've loved it. I've seen it a couple times now, and so I definitely encourage people. I feel like at this point when I talk to people, I'm like, how have you not seen it?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
been around,
And it's
but I know a lot of
also-
people go back a lot.
Yeah, they go back a lot. And also I got a little bit dramatic in that explanation, but talking about from the pure entertainment aspect of it all, it's a great night out. You're going to a place that has been transformed into the actual Moulin Rouge. So you enter into the audience and you already feel transported. The dancing is incredible. Everybody's so beautiful on the stage. Different colors, sizes, shapes, all of it. And you leave going, wow, what a fun spectacle.
Exactly. Fun night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun night of theater.
Yeah.
And you're probably less confused when you walk out of Cats.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, let's do some Cats rapid fire here to close
Okay.
us out and get to the important question.
Okay.
If you could do one night, any cat, doesn't matter, male, female, whoever, who would you want to play?
Ballerina, no question.
I love it. Who's your favorite and least favorite cat? And I say that from a standpoint of like, which one would you be best friends with, and which one would you, personality-wise, hate hanging out with?
Okay, I would love to hang out forever with Elektra and etc.
Yeah.
Etc.
Okay.
doesn't make it in many productions, and she's wonderful. So the two little girls that are probably best friends, I would love to hang out with them forever. And the one that I don't like is Bustafer. I'm sorry, you come in for once, you make a stupid song, get out of here. No.
I couldn't agree more. Favorite song?
The Addressing of Cats.
Okay. All right.
It's beautiful, 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 and I feel that I'm a cat. When that song is playing and you're just staring at the audience and Deuteronomy is singing behind you, you're like, this is who we are. We are Jellicle cats.
I agree. I don't think there's a wrong answer in that show.
You know
I
what?
feel like
Fair.
there are moments where I'm like, oh, this is my favorite right now, and this is other one. So
Fair.
I'm always like, yeah, what is the flavor? I like to ask one fun one. And
Yeah.
I know you did some work with Celine Dion over the years.
I did.
How would you cast her?
Oh, she
Who
would
is
be Grisabella.
She's Grisabella.
She's Grisabella.
Okay.
There's actually a YouTube video of her singing Memory, dressed
Yes.
as a cat.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I figured that's where we were going, but I wanted to, with how much you've cast everybody else.
She could also be a ballerina because she's very she moves like a snake sometimes. She's very she's very linky. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so my $1 million question. I've argued at length that I don't think Grisabella is the right Jellicle choice.
Okay.
And I want to hear who is your Jellicle choice and why.
Gus.
You're Gus. Team Gus.
Team Gus.
No more questions.
I don't think Grisabella is wrong. I think Grisabella deserves a second chance, like other people too. But I would say, if they were doing another version, they wanted to spice things up, I would say Gus. I always loved Gus. But after I saw that production this summer in New York City, it made me fall in love head over heels with Gus. The respect to the elderly, the respect to all the generations. especially in New York. I think New York, with all these old people on the train sometimes, I keep looking at them and I go, talk to me. Who are you? Why are you here? Tell me amazing stories. And it happens all the time. The elderly have, hello, experience.
Yeah.
You know, so Gus, that I think we are losing respect to our elders. And we need to bring respect a little back this day and age.
I love it. I agree that I think my choice is Gus.
Oh, okay.
And I do think that Grisabella deserves another year with her family. So let her spend the time. Like, welcome her back. You can still have your redemption story. I did, because you mentioned Junior LaBeija plays Gus in that Jellicle Ball and is a legend and an icon and just incredible. But if you watch Junior during that production, Junior is not ready to go.
Yeah, true.
And I told him that. I'm like, you are ruining my argument here.
True.
You're
right.
by like feeding Grisabella up. Now, I think their story is also very different, and I don't think their Heaviside layer is the Heaviside layer that the one that you did is kind of the same. I think it's kind of a different interpretation of it. But I did like, it was so cool to watch them do that Gus with him.
Everybody, all my friends know how much I love cats, and all my friends know how obsessed I am with the show. So people were very curious about my opinion, because I'm going to be completely honest, when the news came out that they were doing a ballroom cats, I felt violated. I said, what the fuck is this? Like, this should be illegal. This should not be allowed. Who allowing this? Who's putting this up? I was very vocal. I said, I will not be going. And then when it opened, and I heard through a few friends, it's actually really good. I said, what?
Yeah.
So I said, mi amor, let's buy good tickets. Because I'm a person that if I don't have a good ticket, I'd rather not go see a show. Let's buy good tickets. It was hard to find good tickets, but we found them.
Yeah.
The show started, and within 4 minutes, I was in, sold, convinced. It made me fall in love with cats even more.
Yeah.
What did you feel?
Incredible. Well, so I did a lot. I did a whole series with them, and I had the same kind of, I wasn't no, we shouldn't do it, but I was also like, what is this going to be?
Yeah.
Because it was very loose, and I talked to them very early when they were workshopping it and trying to understand. And then the first episode I did was with the directors. Oh. And so to hear kind of their thought and vision.
Wait, I need to go back. I need to go back and listen to that.
I'll send you.
Because I always said, these people must love the piece. Period.
They do.
That's what I thought, because the respect they had for it, they had the vinyl, the respect they had for it. I said, they must love it.
And they had a full creative team and a couple that were also like super fans and lovers of the show that were making sure it stayed true and authentic. But I worked with them, and so I went to the second preview. And you talked about good seats. I sat at the cabaret table on the end, like at the very end of the runway, and I had the same moment. I'm like, I really don't. Even with them telling me, I'm like, I really don't know what to expect. And the minute the first music hits, I'm like, oh, it's cats.
It makes sense.
It's still cats,
and it makes sense.
It was beautiful. I loved it. By the time this comes out, it'll have happened. But next weekend, we're recording this before Broadway Con. We're doing a panel with them at Broadway Con.
Oh,
next
nice.
Having a couple of them back because they had such success, and I hope that show gets its own Jellicle life again.
Me too. I hope they bring it back
at some point.
It was
great, and for me it also helped with, you're a Cats lover.
Yeah,
there are a lot of Cats haters out there.
Yeah,
and a lot of them went and had a little bit of a mind change because I was like, oh, it made sense, or I understood the story a little bit better, or because they weren't in the unitards with tails, it took away some of that part that maybe they didn't get.
Because at the end of the day, what you were saying to make a full circle about this wonderful time that I've had with you, you started saying what is part of the story that perhaps we don't get to know, and what does this show mean to you? Well, that's exactly what this Jellicle Ball production did. They brought the real meaning of what this show is, which is about forgiveness, community,
and forgiveness, redemption,
and second chances, and just being nice to each other and learning from our elders. All of that perhaps in the original is masked by all that dancing. Here it was so obvious and so clear that I really hope they have a wonderful future ahead of them, because they deserve it.
Me too.
They deserve it.
Well, I think that's a beautiful note for us to end on. How can people stay in touch with you on social media?
I have a TikTok, but I only watch things. I don't post anything. Okay. I don't have Facebook. Nobody uses it. and Twitter and either. So my Instagram is and then it's p.e.p.e. So it's Pepe, but with dots in between, and then
Okay.
So Pepe Muñoz, but just put dots between the P's and the E's.
We'll link that, and we'll also link everything from Moulin Rouge. for
Thank
people
you.
to come to see.
And come to the show. We'd love to meet you in person.
Definitely. Well, this was so fun. So thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And thanks everyone else for following along. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or us as a podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, whatever social medias are running at the time at The Wrong Cat Died, or check out our website, thewrongcatdied.com.